Think about it, ring won't tell you what I saw. When you break it off, you'll see who had it all. You had it all. You said you wanted to fall into oblivion. Forget about the world we're living in. Fall into oblivion, oblivion. Oh, going in. Fall into oblivion. Fall into oblivion. Forget about the world we're living in. Fall into oblivion, I'm going in. You can't fall asleep when you're counting stars. Get it together. Your mind can't sleep when you let it serve. Now you wanna see me fall. From a quarter mile, I can see you at the call. Think about it, ring won't tell you what I saw. When you break it off, you'll see who had it all. You had it all. You said you wanted to fall into oblivion. Forget about the world we're living in.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are here with a GBCC Cup match where we will be going against Jayhawk Esports, Cody. This is going to be, I don't know, like our 6th week into this Cup stuff?
We've been in it for a while.
We've been in it for quite some time, and so this one, if we remember in the past, KU has been quite an opponent for us, but we have grown since then.
We've improved greatly across many fronts. I like to think that we could probably handle them. If not win this, we'd at least be very close. All the fights would be incredibly close in most instances, I think.
Oh, that's very true, Cody. And just before you all forget who we have, your Culver's lineup for today will entail Deity and Jonah on that classic tank lineup. Trey and Rickless Morty, it looks like, is going to be up there. Nope, looking at the lobby right now, I have it wrong. It will be Bite Me and Rickless Morty. I'm guessing Trey's not in because I don't see him in the lobby at this point in time. DD Gaming and the Red Polka will be on the support lineup. Cody, how does this kind of line up for UCM since I don't see Trey up here in the lineup?
Yeah, that is a bit weird. We're going to be losing a Reaper powerhouse, basically. He's our best Reaper, I'd like to think, at this moment. He's able to do these incredible flanks, just that have incredible impact every time he does them. He gets at least 3, I think, if he has death buffs, especially, maybe more.
He's usually popping off with that Q button every time he appears.
He's usually doing great.
Oh, so true. So UCM is going to be in a little bit of a fun stuff here. And so, UCM's going to have a fun time with it. Speaking of which, if you want to come to UCM, and you do plan on coming here in the fall, and you want to be a part of UCM Esports, our fall 2021 application is now up and live. You can kind of scan on the QR code. You can find it on any of our social medias. You'll be able to get there anywhere. But do note that the deadline for being considered for the starting lineup ends April 30th, 2021. At midnight. So you can see the 6 titles that we currently offer, but if you want another title, you can for sure sign up for one, and you can definitely put that in there. I know so far we have some people interested in Valorant, wanting to bring that back, and so if you want to be a part of a Valorant team, go ahead and sign up, fill out the other slot, and we'll see what all can happen, and if it's a possibility, then we'll make it come happen. But with that all being said, Cody, I think UCM is going to have a good time. Oh, we do see the Mr. Baggins saying that Bite Me will be swapped out for Trey, so Trey has appeared. He was just missing for a slight second there, folks. So with that all being said, we will be right back after this short break.
Thank you for joining us today. Before today's match, we'll be going over the rules of Overwatch. Overwatch is a 6v6 team-based game, where each map has specific objectives to complete. At the beginning of the match, and at any time during the game, the players can move into a spawn room that allows them to choose what character they want to play. They can also do this while waiting to respawn. There are 3 types of heroes that can be played. Tanks specialize in protecting allies, disrupting enemies, and occupying the front line. They have high survivability and abilities that protect themselves and others with shields and crowd control. Damage heroes are responsible for seeking out, engaging, and defeating the enemy using their varied tools, abilities, and playstyles. Lastly, support are heroes that heal, buff, and provide utility. Support heroes boost the overall performance of their team by increasing their survivability, speed, and damage output. They're generally the worst duelists and are best when surrounded by teammates. Throughout the match, players have a select set of abilities that can be used. All heroes have at least 2, although some have more. Each character also has an ultimate ability that must be charged by dealing damage or healing. Each match takes place on one of 4 types of maps: Assault, Payload, Control, or Hybrid. Payload maps have an objective that players must push to the end of a set track, with the other team defending. Whichever team can push their payload further wins. Assault maps have 2 objectives that one team must try to capture while the other team defends. Hybrid maps are a combination of the last 2 mentions, with one team capturing a point and then pushing it along a track. In control maps, players must fight over one point located in the middle of the map and hold it to fill their percentage. Finally, whichever team has won the most rounds by the end of the match will win the game.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are here on Lijiang Tower here on this control point, as you saw in the EDU video, King of the Hill type style here. What do you think of these comps here, Cody?
Well, they are contradictory. We have a bit of more of a rush for KU and a bit more of a brawl for UCM, so it's mostly about sustain and maintaining a fight.
Oh, for sure here. So UCM going ahead and getting into the nitty-gritty with KU up here in the server room area here. UCM trying to pump up as much damage as they can. Jonah falling low and does fall to Fua, and UCM is going to be down the main shields there. Red Polka getting really low on his health there, and UCM's going to have to back off there because you just lose your shield there. Really not much else they can do there, Cody.
Yeah, and that fight really came down to the difference in the composition, I think. But the difference between a D.Va and a Zarya is great. While Zarya is great for bubbles and sustain, a D.Va can just break things faster with infinite ammo and just great spam.
Oh, this is so true. So UCM getting back onto the point here, just getting really aggressive here. Jonah is losing so much health there. Red Polka going to have to work overtime here to keep him up and alive. And we do see Jonah falling, though. Ben Force, though, taken out by Deity. Fua taking out 2 people on the side, 3 people on the side of UCM. And that's going to have to be a pullback there. And it looks like Fua there getting a little happy there with the Symmetra damage.
Yep, that's Symmetra at full charge does incredible damage, which is why it's hard to play Orion against her because she'll just melt shields, and then she'll melt your health. You don't really have a good option besides just burning her down before she can build charge.
Oh, this is so true. The Jayhawks have a good positioning here. We do see Fua putting up some turns here and throwing up his ultimate to just contend with the rest of UCM coming in through there, just denying healing and everything like that. But we do see Jonah falling there to B-Day, and UCM just going to, again, just fall and crumble there. Just the raw damage output it looks like the Jayhawks are putting out into the open areas there, Cody.
Yeah, that's them playing their advantage. They have a junk sim, and we don't have a D.Va to eat all that damage, whereas they do. They can just deny any of that damage, where we have a Zarya who can benefit from it, but can't just straight up say, no, that doesn't exist anymore.
Very much so. UCM going over here onto the long route here to try and get behind KU. Get maybe up to the high ground. No, just hopping into server room here to begin the engage here. DD walking forward here. I hear a tire coming out on the side of Ben. He gets 4 of UCM, but Jonah taking care of Ben, but that doesn't matter. UCM will continue to just fall one by one, and oof, you wish you had that grab back.
You do really wish you had that grab back. That is, they went in with a play. They had a great idea. I think it was a good engage. I just think that the tire, they weren't ready for it, and their Zarya was out of, kind of out of position, a little too far forward. A
little bit there. Shatter is blocked, but we do see B-Day getting a good slam in there. Reckless Morty only getting 1 with his tire. So UCM is, again, not going to really get onto the point here to really contest it that much. GD Gaming is trying to just skate around the point to continue to get the overtime talk going. But UCM basically shut out of that point there. Trey taken out by, UCM crumbling in this first map on Li Zhang here, Cody.
That's why you play Junk Sim right there. There's tight corridors, no real high ceiling to dodge as like a flying character to play far into it. So they just able to hold the line, hold the angle, and spam it because there's nowhere else to go, really. You can try going a different angle, but they're at a position where they can just turn and have a visual on that angle and then continue spamming.
So true. So what does UCM need to do to kind of contest what Jayhawks are throwing out here?
They need to burn through sustain. You see here they do have a Baptiste, and that creates a problem because you can just throw an immortality field and not die. They need to be able to burn that down. They need to be able to burn through a D.Va as well, because the D.Va is going to be creating problems with DM. If they don't have that, they can't deny us as much value.
Very much so, but we do see Reckless Morty putting out a nice TP up onto point, so UCM has a good starting point on the defense here. It looks like they're going to be trying to hold on to the wall here. Fuya, though, taking out DD Gaming, so all the speed and aura healing is gone for UCM. So this is going to get really nitty-gritty as we go forward here. UCM in a bit of a trouble spot here. We do see Ben hopping off onto the Mei here instead of being on the Junkrat, and is going to be continuing to just pump out some damage to trade. Taking out Fuya, though, so UCM has an opportunity, but Jonah getting walled off there. Gonna BCC, but Ben taken out by Reckless Morty. Oh, and UCM being able to turn this kind of around. Jonah always on that critical health, but able to do so much. But Jonah does fall eventually. B-Day taking out Reckless Morty. B-Day taken out by Trey. And UCM is going to continue to just kind of tick this off, even though Jayhawks did get first cap here. But it looks like UCM will be able to turn the point around. It looks like as soon as they can get rid of the pesky Lucio that's just skating around the point. So UCM... oh no, Jayhawks are continuing to trickle in to just continue to get that stagger stuff. We do see Ben going into Icicle to continue to contest it here. UCM still not able to cap the point here with 6 people on it. And Jayhawks just continue to trickle it off. 4 people onto the point here and 1 more on there to contest from Jayhawks. UCM still hasn't capped the point. It's so close. Come on now, UCM. Get the point. take care of whoever's on there. UCM continuing to just have some issues. Jayhawks. And, oh, man, finally UCM gets a turn, but not before it's almost at 50%, Cody.
That's why they kept staggering. A lot of people ask, like, oh, would you need a full regroup? If you can just keep buying time and build that percent up, you're going to win. Because you're gonna reach 99 before we even get percentage on the board, which is the objective.
So true. So UCM in a bit of a contesting point here. They did get on here first, but then again they lost it so quickly that they weren't able to recover as fast. We do see Amplification Maker coming out inside of the Rapoka. We do hear Blizzard coming out. We do hear so many things coming out. Deity beat, and oh my goodness, Jonah taking out the bin. Ben taking out Rapoka. A lot of sustain gone on the side of UCM, but Deity popping off here, it looks like, and taking care of some business. Fuya taking out Jonah and Trey. UCM continuing to try and just hold on to the point for as long as they can. Looks like they'll be able to even up the score here on the control point in UCM. That was scrappy. That was a very scrappy, messy fight, but UCM came out on top on that one, Cody.
Yeah, that was us in our willingness to invest ults to hold the point. We saw how many things we threw out, and, well, they kind of held on to things and just tried to build them. And I think that's what this next fight's going to be for KU, or Jayhawks. They're just going to throw everything out and win with that.
Very much so. So we do see Fuya coming out with a Deadeye here to try and see if he can get some zoning ults out onto UCM. He gets some headshots, but isn't able to capitalize on anything, so UCM's safe. B coming out on the side of the Jayhawks. Hammer down coming out as well on the side of the Jayhawks. Continuing to just kind of CC everybody off. Ben is taking out Trey. B-Day taking out the Red Polka's Immortality Field. The Jayhawks are able to turn the point over, and so UCM's going to have a little bit of, ooh, Reckless Morty and the rest of UCM going to have to back off there, Cody.
Yeah, gonna have to fall back because you can't flip that. But you saw they did, like I said, they did invest a lot of ultimates in that, and it worked. You saw it did work, but now I think they overinvested. They used a bit more than they probably wanted to, and I think that's gonna show because now we're coming in with almost 3 to 4 ultimates now.
Very much so. So UCM has a bit of an advantage here if we can get that. We do have a sim shield up, so that's going to be going up here in the middle here to continue blocking. But we usually Ben popping up. Nick's booping Deity Gaming off, but Deity taking care of Ben. Trey popping off into the background here. He does see the Immortality shield, and we do see UCM trying to do some stuff. Oh, okay, Graviton Surge coming out from the side of Deity. UCM trying to do some work here. Jonah doing a charge off to maybe doing an environmental. Nope, he does fall off with it, but takes a couple with him there. His counterpart in there, Trey, does fall during that fight there, and so UCM, though, is able to get the point back, and if they lose this point, it's going to be end of this map section, and it will go over to Jayhawks. So
this is last fight territory.
Final countdown.
The problem with that is Jayhawks have a bigger ult bank, which means they have more to throw at the wall than we do.
This is very true. So the question is, can UCM time out things and be able to take care of key targets? We do see Fuya coming out here with a high noon, trying to see if he can pull anybody out of position here. He does have a shot, but doesn't take it on anybody. Time runs out on that. We do see 99-99 on everybody here. So UCM going to have some fun on trying to take care of business. We do see Reckless Morty getting frozen. Blizzard's coming out on everything. DD Gaming doing a beat, able to get everybody kind of up. Oh, Bomb coming out on the side of Jayhawks, and Eclipse. UCM Trey doing some damage along with Jonah. UCM continuing to get the point. Overtime's ticking down, so UCM will be able to tie up Li Zhang here, Cody. What? I kind of lost the sauce there. My apologies for not being able to follow that fight better, but dang, UCM was able to pull something out of their hat there.
Yeah, that was living in the chaos. You see, that's what Trey and Jonah kind of do best. They live in that chaos incredibly well. And you saw that last fight just went crazy, and you lost sight of things because, yes, that was entirely just chaos.
That basically was. And so UCM in a contention here to take map 1. And, so that's going to be a cool thing. I do see Arissa coming out here on the side of Jonah and Deity going on to the Reinhardt here. Reckless Morty onto the Junkrat. So UCM going for like a off double barrier plan here, Cody?
Similar to that, the point on this part of Li Zhang is so small that you can find great value with an Arissa Sig.
Very much so. So UCM getting onto the backside of point here. Does get walled off, though. UCM trying to see if they can get onto the point here to kind of contest anything that they can. We do see a lot of barriers being melted on the side of UCM. And so Reckless Morty taking out Fuya, so that's a lot of damage output onto the shields oh man, that's a good kill there for Reckless Morty, but we do see Jonah falling really low here. No, Deity, my apologies, Deity falling super low. Trey's the one on the Symmetra. Reckless Morty's on the Junkrat. Oh my goodness, everybody's just swapping roles here on me. We do see Trey just pumping out just a beam of damage. UCM continuing trying to capitalize on it. B-Day's down. both tanks are kind of just trickling out, but we do see that the Jayhawks were able to capitalize on the point here, so UCM's got to quickly get out there and try and take care of business. Jonah does fall on the side of UCM. Trey continuing to just kind of melt down the Jayhawks here. Ooh, Amplification Matrix is out. We do see Immortality Field is falling down. We do see points are trying to be contested. UCM does get the flip on them, so UCM will begin trying to stay up here. And so UCM that was impressive. I thought the Orisa was a weird pick, but, you know, it looked like it kind of worked.
The Orisa is sort of another spam element that gets added into a Brawl hybrid composition here. So we have a Junkrat, a Sim, and an Orisa now throwing just damage down a choke point where they're not allowed to exist if they want to live for any extended period of time.
Basically. Amplification makes are coming out on the side of the red polka, so UCM is going to continue to kind of contest this. They will have more point of... Trey taking out Fuya there! UCM making sure that Fuya's not able to really get in there and get any kind of ult charge going up or even a damage up at all. So UCM, again, holding on to the backside choke point here. So UCM in good contention here, and Jayhawks are just going to have to back off. What do the Jayhawks have to do to kind of break this?
You saw them attempt it right there. It was a Sim TP onto us, and it didn't work. And I think if they can pull one off, I think that would be incredible. But other than that, they'd have to use a Sim wall or some other ultimate.
And so it looks like they are going to pop off onto a May wall here. They do have a Sim teleporter in the backline on UCM. We do see, though, that Fuya does take out Deity, so that is a big shield there. Ben takes out Jonah with the help of Hoppin. And then there's a big boop on the side of the Jayhawks there. Naxon getting the red polka. And so UCM will be kind of pushed off the pointer, but not before they get at least 75%, it looks like, if DD Gaming is able to continue to kind of just bounce around on the point here. He is having a lot of fun there. Nobody's really going to be able to take him down for a little bit, but it does look like UCM will be taken down and out of the fight, but not before they get 80% on the point there. UCM in one fight contention territory to win Li Zhang here. So do you stick with this kind of team comp here, Cody, or do you try and switch it off?
It's hard to decide when you need to switch in this kind of situation. But I feel like a switch wouldn't be bad. Like putting Trey on a signature Reaper in this situation wouldn't be a terrible idea.
Very much so. So Rickless Morty getting the tire out, going up onto the roof, trying to maybe zone out some people in the background of KU. It does look like he's looking for somebody in particular, and he does. He gets Hoppin. Hoppin is down, so there is no major sustain on the side of the Jayhawks here. Eclipse, does take out the red poker, so neither side has it. Ben is taken out by Jonah, though. So UCM has an opportunity. Jonah popping off on the Orisa here. Pooping. Oh, man. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that kind of word, but UCM just dumping on Jayhawks here on the point with so much raw damage output. And UCM will be able to try and contest it here and will begin the flip over on the point. And so UCM, one more team fight, and that should seal the deal. And we will win Li Zhang Tower, going one up in the series here against Jayhawk Esports. Whew. So, this is going to be fun, Cody.
It's going to be a very close match, and I'm really hoping we can just win this right here.
Ooh, Amplification Matrix coming out on the side of the Jayhawks, so that's going to be a big fun time there. So we do see a beat coming out as well, so lots of things. Deity taking out B-Day. UCM continuing to try and pump out as much damage as they can, and so we do see walls still up and whatnot. Trey melting down the Diva on the Jayhawks side, and then D-Max does try to follow the Lucio in the background here. Doesn't look like it's going to do much else for him, though, but UCM, again, continuing to kind of just contest it. Oh! Jonah going in for a big punch. Slam coming in on the side of B-Day. UCM, again, big scrappy fight, and is able to capitalize on it, but Jayhawks were able to convert it during the fight. I got to give it to the Jayhawks here. Every time I think UCM's holding on to the point really well, I notice that they flipped it at some point in time during this matchup. Overtime is ticking down. UCM just has to continue to kind of contest the point. We do see a ball coming out on the side of the Jayhawks here. And so UCM will continue to just kind of hold the point. And so now it's into a trickle fight here where you hear a blizzard coming out from somewhere. Deity taking care of Nyx. And B-Day falling off the point there. Ben falling to the side of Jonah. UCM continuing to just hold on to the point. Overtime will tick down. And UCM will take map 1 onto the Jayhawks there. And so do you think that win there was due to the fact that it was such an unconventional team comp on that final section of Li Zhang?
Yeah, I do think it comes down to the difference in composition and the way we played. We were able to get that first team fight win because we were able to just throw damage at them without really any consequence. Like when a Rhine swings, he has to, get swung on by the other Rhine. But with an Orisa, a Sim, and a Junk, you can just throw damage down a choke. and not have to worry about getting really anything back because you have 2 shields in front of you.
Oh, that's so true here. So UCM will go up 1-0 in the series, and this is a very good start from a team that we thought we were going to struggle very much against, which we can't take away from Jayhawk Esports, that they are being good. Like, again, they capped the point when I thought they didn't have it, and then blah, 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 blah. But anyways, we're going into the next map here is going to be tight. This is turning into a pretty cool series. So we'll see what UCM does on the next map right after this.
Culver's is a proud sponsor of UCM Esports. Welcome to Delicious.
Imagine opportunity. Got it? Good. Now pursue it. Choose the right college to cultivate it. Discover your passion, your talent. Now share it. Embrace it. Go global. Find support, network, build your team. Set a goal, work hard, achieve it. Be proud of yourself. Celebrate it. Discover UCM. Discover opportunity in action.
Welcome to the interview today. Are you ready to start?
Yeah, actually.
What's the first thing you would buy with $1 million?
A car. Nice one.
What would your last meal consist of?
Fried okra. Probably main thing.
Where's your dream destination?
Always want to go to Alaska, see the northern lights. That'd be cool.
What was cool as a kid, but not cool now?
Those silly, like the bands, the silly bands that are shapes, animals and stuff. Those aren't too cool anymore.
If magic was real, what spell would you try out first?
Invisibility, I guess.
If you could cyber enhance one body part, what would it be?
Gotta be the gaming hand. Perfect game.
Who would narrate your life?
Me.
What's your favorite car jam to listen to?
I don't really listen to music. I just podcasts are my main thing, I guess.
You don't want a piece of paper. You want an opportunity. The opportunity to lead, to innovate, to transform. The opportunity to excel beyond what you thought possible. At the University of Central Missouri, your goals are achievable because we give you more support so your ambition faces fewer obstacles. Embrace your potential with the backing of 150 years of academic excellence, with undergraduate and graduate degrees available in Warrensburg, Lee Summit, and online. Discover UCM. Discover opportunity in action.
Are you ready for the interview today?
Yes.
Let's get right to it. Would you rather have a third eye or a third arm?
I could rather have a third eye.
What would your superpower be?
Probably telekinesis.
If you could cyber enhance one body part, what would it be?
Probably would be my arms.
Where do you drop the line between soup and cereal?
Cereal. Probably what you put in it, like crackers and stuff.
If magic was real, what spell would you try out first?
I would probably do a food spell.
Do you have a secret hidden talent of sorts?
No, I just got diabetes.
What was cool as a kid, but not cool now?
Probably sleep.
Who would narrate your life?
Morgan Freeman.
Describe your perfect day.
Good day. Relaxation, video games.
I'm going in. When the lights go down, I've seen hell in you, but you don't care, no, you don't care, no. You just rather watch me fall from a quarter mile. I can see you at the call. Think about it, ring won't tell you what I saw. break it off, you'll see who had it all. You had it all.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are here on Kings Row, Cody. So, you want to place your wagers now?
We're tying. We're drawing this map. I'm just going to say it. It's going to happen.
Geez,
I don't want it to.
Don't say
but
that. You know, neither one of us really wants that to happen. And so UCM will be on the attack run here. We do see them coming out with their classical brawl, but we do see Trey on the Ash here, Cody. That's going to be interesting. I like seeing Bob more than anybody else.
It is a bit odd. Trey's not a bad hit scan by any means. It's just typically you see
McCree.
Typically see a Kree here for a stun because
Yeah.
it's incredibly useful. So seeing an Ash, better spam, better burst, but I'm a little worried about how things are going to turn out without a stun.
Very much so. So it looks like Trey's taking a little bit of a long route here. Oh, he's waiting to kind of like choke that out, it looks like. But you see him able to get the high ground here, it looks like. And so Jayhawks here going to be down here in the hotel area trying to see if they continue to contest it. UCM still up in the high ground here. We do see Rickless Morty on the Hanzo here, so I'm kind of happy with that. We do see a sonar arrow coming out, so everybody has an eye on where Jayhawk Esports is. They are basically all in there. Rickless Morty's wishing that the scatter arrow was still in game, so he could just launch it in there, see who all he could kill with it. But only got the storm arrows, and that's fine. So UCM going to continue to get the point there. Sonar arrow kill onto Fuya there by Rickless Morty. UCM continue to try and contest the point there. Jonah taking out Nia, and UCM marching forward with some vigor and going to take this point. Been taken out by Rickless Morty. Hoppin taken out. Rickless Morty popping off with his Hanzo as he always does in Warrensburg, Missouri here. And UCM, they're going to get the point here, and they're charging up forward like crazy people here. Oh, man, what happened?
That was Sean popping off. Like you can't adjust that to anybody else. That was a great sonar arrow that just said, "Oh, hello, we're all here now." And then he was just able to find pick after pick and just do so much damage with Hanzo right there.
Oh, very much so. So UCM is going to be able to get the point and begin the progression point here. Deity does fall to Nia, though, or Nia Socks. And so UCM going to be down their bubble support there. So it looks like Jayhawks here are going to try and hold up here in this choke here. And so UCM going to have a hard time trying to break this. But we do see a Bob coming out on the side of Trey. Bob is in the background here doing some work. Oh, but Bob gets immediately melted down by the clips, and so that's going to be it for kind of a Bob distraction. So Sadness, the hero I always wanted but never deserved. We do see a shatter coming out from Jonah, but it's immediately removed as he just falls to the power of the Eclipse. And so UCM still being held up in this choke here. Amplification matrix there is put out there, and I mean, good zoning tool, but you aren't able to capitalize on the zoning tool with both your tanks kind of disarrayed there, Cody.
Yeah. Oh, we got a big Graf's coming out.
Oh, Graf coming out from Deity, and Dragons from freaking Rickless Morty. Beat coming out as well, it sounded like. Yes, Hammer coming out too. So the esports, we do see lots coming out. Dragons coming out too. Everybody pressing Q on the side of Jayhawks here, Cody. And UCM will fall one by one here, but that's almost, 5 ultimates out?
That was, basically their entire team threw an ultimate there. You see, they're all at super low charge now because of that. The only one that still has it is their Mei, which Mei ult is an incredible ultimate. But we have a ultimate of our own. We have Beat to counteract it if we need it. And we're not too far off from Shatter. I know it's only 50, but for Ryan, that's close enough.
Give Jonah a couple seconds with that hammer, and he'll be able to do stuff. Deity going after Hoppin. Hoppin does fall to Deity there. And we do see Blizzard coming out on the side of Jayhawks here. No Beat coming out, though. Beat did come out on the side of DD Gaming, but Vin was still able to take out Trey and the Red Polka. Deity and Jonah are walled off here and going to have to just fend for themselves here. Shatter coming out on the side of Jonah. Does get 2 down on the side of Jayhawks. Rickless Morty popping off once more and getting some headshots there on to the Jayhawks. And Rickless Morty in their background? Okay, fair enough. Oh, stun coming out. So we do see the McCree coming out on the side of Trey. So UCM is going to be able to get through that chokehold there, but not before the Jayhawks are able to burn down a little bit of that clock there, Cody.
They did burn a lot of time with that hold there. And, I mean, that's better than most things. On second point, it's hard to hold period on Kings Row, but being able to hold for that long, they did a great job holding it, but UCM does do a great job of breaking it.
Very much so. So UCM going to be here onto the second point, getting the payload just around the corner here. So, oh, big grab coming out on the side of Deity here, and UCM going to be able to get a lot done there, it looks like. But Amplification Matrix coming out from Hoppin, and UCM, nobody's died yet. Oh, hammer coming out, though, from B-Day. And so UCM, nobody. Fuya taking out DD Gaming. B coming out as well from Jayhawks there. Walled off is Jonah, and he's not going to last much longer. And so it does look like UCM will be pushed back, but not before Rickless Morty does have Dragons. We do have Shatter. Deadeye's coming up online. And, I mean, we pulled out, what, maybe 3 ults?
I think 2. I think we just got Lamp and Shatter there.
Okay. I know Beat came out at some point. So
no, they did beat, didn't they?
They beat it in that last fight. So UCM does have an advantage on that DD Gaming. We'll probably have Beat coming into the middle of this next team fight here. So UCM has some options. Rickless Morty throwing out Dragons as well with Fuya. And so UCM hammer coming out from Jonah. Jonah able to get a few down, but Immortality Field does come up on the side of Jayhawks. And Trey getting Fuya with a it's Jonah continuing to swing the hammer and doing so much work with it. He's trying to get to Hop and finally finds him, takes him out, and then Rickless Morty punches Ben down into the ground onto King's Row there, and UCM will be able to cap the second point here. But again, Jayhawks really good at this whole stalling thing and making it to where UCM really does have to fight for each step they take.
They do. I think that a lot of that is the May, not being able to push past a wall, being frozen, having those icicles spam down at you. It's basically just like a Hanzo arrow, so it's a lot to deal with when you're trying to push forward.
Instead of tree trunks flying at your face, you have basically icebergs flying through your face here. We do see lots of resources coming out on the side of UCM here, and so that's going to be a signal for the Jayhawks to kind of push forward here. We do see DD taking out B-Day Ninja here, and then Ben taking out DD Gaming, though, so UCM has no speed at this point in Junction, but that's not going to have to stop them. They're going to begin to push in. We do see Grav coming out from the side of Deity, so UCM will be able to get a couple people down, and so UCM waiting to get Ben out of his ice block here, and so he will be taken down. We do see Amp coming out as well from the Red Polka. UCM using some ults. Some of them, I wonder why.
Some of them were a bit odd, but, you know, I suppose I can get it. I would have rather saved Grav for a Grav Dragon here, because that is always, like, almost always a fight win, and that can turn things around, especially on last point.
Oh, very true. So UCM, we do hear a hammer down. We do see 2 down on the side of the Jayhawks here. Oh, we do see a bomb coming out, though. Oh, Rickless Morty is able to take it out as DD Gaming was able to beat and save everybody's life. DD Gaming does get some environmentals. UCM continue to go through. Dragon's coming out, though, from Fuya. Will Fuya be able to save the day, though? But no, that's not going to be it. UCM continuing to just hold on to the point here and pushes it all the way with 53 seconds left on the clock. That's not bad. We were able to keep time on the clock there. So UCM, again, surprising me tonight. So either we mistakenly hyped up Jayhawk Esports or something flipped a switch.
I don't think it was a mistake. I think Jayhawkers definitely put up a good fight. But I just think that the way we're playing is countering them, because we've seen a Ryan Diva and we've seen a May. We've seen it plenty of times. So we've learned how to deal with it. And I think that after Lijiang and after this first few fights, we kind of got the download on the way they play the game. And we're going to try and make sure that they can't do that anymore.
This is fair, Cody. So UCM has had a lot of experience. Again, we've been through already one kind of Friendlies Cup that we were able to play second in when we were going into the Grandview University Friendly Cups there. Able to go through all that, and we had the pains and the sorrows of the semifinals and the finals of that one. And UCM able to learn from those, it appears, here, as they are going up against a lot tougher opponents in some of these matchups. And, I mean, we did face against Penn College, which I believe would be of the same level of the Jayhawks, if I'm thinking of this correctly. And UCM struggled hard in that.
Well, that's because they got the download first on us. They figured us out before we were able to figure them out, and then they were able to just keep changing up the way they played in subtle ways to the point where we couldn't really find a set-in-stone way to just deal with it.
Very much so. So UCM able to start reading opponents, and so we will see how well their defense holds up here against the Jayhawks. So the Jayhawks have an opportunity here to, once again, folks, kind of tie it up and begin a section of where they could win a map here. I do hear a charge coming out from Jonah, but it doesn't look like anything really succeeds and connects there. We do see the Jayhawks going up onto the high ground section here. Looks like they're going to try and speed and go across and go down and up onto the high ground, just like UCM did in the earlier thing. I know it was so long ago, but UCM will be just holding on to the low ground here of the cart point. And so Jonah just kind of watching what all's going on here. We do see the Jayhawks just, again, being up here and doing stuff. B-Day Ninja going down onto the ground here. We do see them on the point here, so they're going to begin getting ticks on here. Jonah hopping on there. Does get stunned out, and Fuya taking care of business there. Immortality Field down. thanks to DD Gaming, and then UCM is down the Jonah though, and so but they're not getting on the point here, and UCM needs to get on there if they want to try and have any options there. But Fuya taking out Deity as well. Brickless Mori trying to take care of people. Trey taking out Fuya, and UCM needs to get on the point here before he gets capped. Never mind, UCM lets the point get capped, and so now they're going to begin to be staggered out and separated, and there might be a split spawn effect here for UCM, Cody.
I think there will be. I think some people are going to have a longer spawn, and they'll have to try and get back fast, but it's hard to do on a map like this with such turning and winding corridors.
Very much so. So UCM there. Again, I have to applaud Jayhawks for contesting the point well and pushing people off of it. UCM usually is able to hold on to points really well, but it seems like as of right now that they're just backing off on the point here and letting some things tick away too much. And so, I mean, is that a typical strat?
I think we were just looking for a wall, right like that, and to get a good engage with.
Basically, we just see Amplification Mixture coming out on the side of Red Polka. Jonah with a big shatter there, able to get rid of B-Day and Nexa. Fuya taking out Jonah, though. Trey taking out Hoppin, and UCM continuing to kind of just march down the field here. Sorry, I'm trying to fight somebody who's not dead, and UCM is able to continue and cap the team fight there and be able to stall the payload here in a very good position, Cody.
In a very good position, I think, and I think that team fight did come down to the wall. Like, we got a really good early wall and forced out so many cooldowns. Like, we completely denied their amplification matrix with it, which I think was a great wall from Sean. But overall, it was still a very close fight.
Very much so. UCM backing off a lot on this point here, and so they're going back into the chokehold area. Amplification makes coming out on the side of the Jayhawks. No, never mind. That is Red Polkas. And looks like Jayhawks there just using a Blizzard and a Grav are able to just turn that fight around, Cody.
Yeah, Grav Blizzard, much like Grav Dragons, is pretty much a free fight win if you can do it right. Because now they're locked inside of the Blizzard, they can't get out. Even if you throw out an Immortality field, unlike with Dragons, there's less visual clutter, so it's easier to break.
Very much so. We do see a Grav coming out on the side of Deed here. High Noon coming out from Trey. Nobody really capitalized on either one of those because we kind of wasted all. We hear a beat coming out from Nia, and UCM going to have to back off super quick here. And UCM tries, almost gets walled off. Hammer coming out, does get 5 by B-Day Ninja. The Clips taking out Jonah and Brickless Morty, and he's going to be marching on down through the halls here with almost 100 energy when he was in that engage, and UCM wiped out again. Jayhawks beginning to fly here, Cody.
They are, and that's because I feel like they're speeding onto us and just gaming like that, and they're playing their comp very well.
Very much so. We do see DD Gaming trying to beat. It looks like it was canceled out, though, by the Fuya, and so UCM is going to try and do their best. The Blizzard coming out as well, and so UCM still trying to contest it, but I don't think it's going to work out so well. And oh, 0.44 there. UCM continuing to try and hold it off, and it looks like they might. Oh, big boop coming out from DD Gaming, getting Ben off the point there. HUD trying to get out, but Jonas says, no, you're out. And so 0.44 meters here. They have to hold this for almost 4 minutes, Cody.
This is a very, very bad situation that you don't really want to be in. When they're this close, you have to step off point for such a small amount of time, and it ticks in, which means someone, most likely Didi, as you see here, is just going to have to stand there.
Very much so. So UCM not in a great position for this thing, because we have seen the Jayhawks able to push UCM off of points, and they are able to get the caps off. And with this payload being so close to the end of the map here, UCM has to do a lot to contest it and can prevent the Jayhawks from capping if they want to continue to go up 2-0. Oh, dang. High New coming out from Fuya, though. And UCM will fall one by one there. And I think this is going to be a cap for them. And the Jayhawks continue to just march it on down, and it looks like, yep, that's going to be it. And so UCM has a minute, while the Jayhawks have 3 minutes and 12 seconds. So,
you know what they call this?
What do they call this?
Drawable.
Oh, shut your dang mouth. Shut your mouth, okay? UCM's going to win it.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
just saying. I think I've seen this situation somewhere before.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I get it. Statistically speaking, for this semester, it's more likely a draw. But also statistically speaking, it could be a win.
Oh, everything could be. It's just what will be is going to be a draw. I'm calling it.
Okay, if you want to. So UCM going to be on the attack run here, so they have a minute to get as far as they can. So either capping the point and then getting it pushed as far as they can, or even trying to get some kind of cap on there. And so the more they can get, the better chances they have of winning this map instead of drawing this map.
I'm just saying, like, coming into this, you're going to have us playing a very good comp, a very good rush comp, as you see. It's very good to just run them over. But they have a Baptiste, they have a Kree, they have a Mei, they have things to stop that rush. Especially if someone gets split off from the team with a Mei wall, that's a free fight for them, basically, because singling someone out is the way you want to play rush.
I mean, that is fair. So UCM has a tall order here, so they only got a minute, so maybe 2 team fights in order to capitalize on this point here. So we do see Hoppin hauling off onto the back here. They do leave it open, and so UCM going to be going into the hotel area here to try and get on here and try and contest against Jayhawks here. Oh, Jonah getting taken down so low there. UCM trying to push through and see what they can do. B-Day taking out Trey, though, so UCM losing a lot of their raw damage output. Oh, would you see Jonah charging in, but he is walled off there, but is able to still get a sideline of his healers, though. Fuya taking out Rickless Morty, so DPS is down for UCM. Jonah trying to keep on swinging, but that's not going to work out there, so UCM will be pushed off of the area here, really into last fight territory here. I don't know if they're going to be able to get everybody back on in order to really contest this. Amplification makes up for Hoppin, so this is going to be a big issue if the Red Polka cannot get his up in time as well to help counter out the amplification makers that's going to be coming out of here from Hoppin, unless we can see Rickless Morty hopping into the back line here and taking care of Hoppin before he can even... Never mind, so that's going to be coming out here. Hoppin hauling off into the back line here. Jonah being frozen out and being melted down. DD Gaming and Jonah taken out here. So Rickless Morty trying to just do some contest. The Eclipse is going to be melting down a lot of people here. Rickless Morty trying his best, but that is going to be overtime ticking down as well. So UCM having some big shatter-ish. Does kill Deity with the shatter here, so UCM will not be able to touch the point here. So draw condition is if UCM can prevent the Jayhawks from getting a singular tick. If the Jayhawks get a singular tick, then they win this map and they tie up the series. So the only good thing that can come out of this for UCM is to draw the map. So with that being said, Cody has a very higher chance of winning now because my percentage is basically down to 0. So you happy now?
I'm very happy. Not because we're drawing, just because I'm right.
That the side pot that we got going on here of goldfish crackers is going to be yours?
Yup. Love me some goldfish.
They're very delicious fish of the sea. Okay, so UCM, what do they have to do to really draw out this map? What is the win condition for UCM?
Out-sustaining their rush, because you see they're still on the Lucio. They still have the Mei, so they're going to try and wall someone off. They're going to try and burn them down fast. And you see here we're running an Orisa now. So it's going to be very similar to what you saw on Li Zhang, kind of the way we just anchored down, forced them to not be able to do anything because there's just too much damage coming at them. If we can keep them zoned out with just the raw amount of damage we're doing and also keep somebody on point to keep it contested, that's an easy draw.
That's fair, but do you want UCM in this position, though?
Like, I mean, typically you don't want to be in a position to draw. You want to be in a position to
win.
No,
I mean, like, physically where they're at right now. Don't you want to be closer to the point?
Typically you would say yes, but as you see, they're rotating through the top. They're going to try and do the same thing they've been doing. And so it just comes down to being able to stop that from happening because they're going to try and win the team fight right here before even touching point.
Fair enough. So UCM is going to hold on to the high ground here. He is backing up a little bit, waiting for the Jayhawks to try and engage. We do see a bubble coming out, and so UCM going to have to pump out as much damage as they can. We do see a wall coming out, though, and Deity takes out Nyx. Deity down, though, by B-Day Ninja, and so UCM does – it's a trade-off here, so speed lost, but no. Reckless Boy's taking out B-Day Ninja, though, so UCM is able to continue to cap on. Oh, no. We got Jayhawks on the point. We know what that's going to mean. Jonah getting melted down super quickly here, so UCM has to try. Oh, dang, the Eclipse taken out by Trey. Rickless Morty also helping out here, so Trey and Rickless Morty really stepping up here in these team fights, it looks like, and so UCM will win this team fight and will prevent the tick to be capped there, but UCM has to book it across if they want to continue to contest this.
They have to set back up. They have to get back in position because that's one thing that an Orisa really relies on because he moves so slow, you rely so heavily on being set up before the fight starts.
So UCM is able to get the majority of the team back online here. So we do see the Jayhawks going down a similar path, it looks like, but UCM will rotate off on the point side here. We'll back off into the little hallway spam of doom. And so we do see B-Day Ninja marching down like he's the Angels. We do see Amplification Makers coming out as well. Trey falling off on the high ground here. And so UCM going to, oh, Jonah getting shattered down. UCM trying their best. I don't know how Jonah's living through this Deadeye, and Dragon's coming out as well. Trey popping off and doing work. And so UCM will continue to kind of contest this point here. And so with 90 seconds left, UCM in good contention to capitalize on this, but we do have to keep in mind here, Fuya does have his own Deadeye coming up. We will have Grav, and we do know that the win condition for the Jayhawks here is basically Blizzard Dragon, or Blizzard Grav here if nobody touches the point on the side of UCM. It looks like Deity and Jonah getting onto the point here, trying to do their best to take care of business, but UCM will be taking a lot of damage there. Oh, Ben hopping into the background here, trying to melt down Jonah. Jonah getting frozen up and CC'd here. UCM continuing to just kind of fall one by one, and it doesn't look like anybody's going to make it back to the point there, and Jayhawks will be able to capitalize on that and take the point. And so UCM, though, able to put up a stoic fight there, and both me and Cody lose the goldfish. I guess that we're going to have to mail those to Lawrence, Kansas for them to go to the Jayhawks. And so, yeah, Cody, that was just better timed ults and also just having the ults, it looked like.
Yeah, having the ults really made a difference there. I also think just having to get one tick and us having to stop that tick, they were able to force the win condition of the objective, which really changed things for us.
Oh, definitely. So UCM is still in contention. The series is only tied up here, folks. So UCM still has an opportunity to continue on and win this whole map series and whatnot here in this GBCC Cup match. And so it's going to be difficult, but I think UCM can pull it off, Cody.
I think so. I think that was just the curse of Kings Row coming back, honestly.
That's what we're always going to point back to.
I really think almost every other map we have a very strong strategy for. We have very good strats, positioning, and with the way we play, I think we'll be able to hold pretty much any other map. The only other map that I could really be a little bit concerned on would be Nepal as a King of the Hill map, and that's just because their Mei is very good.
Yeah,
and we have to compete against a Mei wall just to get the point on most of the Nepal maps. So.
That's true. So if Jayhawks have to pick that, it might be Nepal. Anyways, we'll find out what map we'll be going to after this short break.
Taylor Industries is a proud sponsor of UCM Esports, a family-owned and operated business.
I guess. Okay, well, let's get right down to it. What's your favorite car jam to listen to?
Oh, just kind of whatever's on. I don't really pick.
If you were a salad, what kind of dressing would you be?
Probably ranch.
Who would narrate your life?
No one, hopefully. I don't know any narrators that are like, I guess the National Geographic guy, I like him.
Where do you drop the line between soup and cereal?
It depends on how hard the thing in the broth is.
You're a new addition to the crayon box. What color would you be?
Pasty.
Would you rather have a third eye or a third arm?
Arm.
First game ever played?
Probably the new Super Mario Bros. On DS. I think that was it.
Where's your dream destination?
I really like the mountains, so I guess kind of like Nebraska, Colorado kind of places, so.
Imagine opportunity. Got it? Good. Now pursue it. Choose the right college to cultivate it. Discover your passion, your talent. Now share it. Embrace it. Go global. Find support, network, build your team. Set a goal, work hard, achieve it. Be proud of yourself, celebrate it. Discover UCM, discover opportunity in action.
Excited for the interview today?
I am.
Okay, let's get right to it. You're a new addition to the crayon box. What color would you be and why?
I'm colorblind, so colors are really hard for me. But let's see here. I like blues, like a shade of blue probably.
First game ever played?
Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets on PlayStation 2. First game I ever beat too.
What's your favorite car jam to listen to?
Any like 80s classic rock, anything like that. Probably like Thunderstruck.
What would the title of your book be?
Probably something along the lines of being distracted a lot, but somehow getting through life.
What would your last meal consist of?
Oh man, that's hard. I really like food. Some kind of like pasta meal, some like gnocchi, like little soft balls of like pasta dough. Oh, so good.
College, you don't want a piece of paper. You want an opportunity. The opportunity to lead, to innovate, to transform. The opportunity to excel beyond what you thought possible. At the University of Central Missouri, your goals are achievable because we give you more support so your ambition faces fewer obstacles. Embrace your potential with the backing of 150 years of academic excellence, with undergraduate and graduate degrees available in Warrensburg, Lee Summit, and online. Discover UCM. Discover opportunity in action.
I'm going in. When the lights go down, I've seen hell in you, but you don't care, no, you don't care, no. You just rather watch me fall from a quarter mile. I can see you at the call. Think about it, ring won't tell you what I saw. When you break it off, you'll see who had it all. You had it all. You said you wanted to fall into oblivion. Forget about the world we're living in. Fall into oblivion, oblivion. Oh, going in.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are here on Havana, and so UCM is going to be on the attack run here, and it does look like Jayhawks are doing like a subtle, very not super close spawn hold.
Still spawn hold.
Okay, yeah, but you're not at like the front door. Okay, never mind. So
There they go.
Everybody's going to the spawn door. So
Off to the races.
Off to the races here. So UCM will be sitting here waiting. Trey is popping off onto the Bastion here. So if we all remember last time, Trey's Bastion was one of the reasons why they were able to do a reverse sweep onto Cornell, but it looks like the Jayhawks will have nothing of it. So Trey's going to just sit there and kind of melt down whoever gets within his sight. So UCM going to continue to just hold off into the spawn area here. B-Day Ninja going to get a little bit melted down. Trey does get eliminated there quickly, but is able to kind of melt down everybody. Red Polka is going to have to hop off into the spawn area. We do see B-Day Ninja taking down Jonah here, so UCM not able to break the spawn hold here just yet. So Trey's going to have to try maybe being a better Bastion. Nope, going to go Afara here. And so we're going to wait and see if maybe, nope, going back to the Bastion. Need to really choose what spam hero we're going to be going with that's really cheeky. And so Trey's going to go off onto the side here. We'll begin melting down the Orisa. The Eclipse is down. Oh, dang, but Deity and Jonah and Reckless Morty do fall in that instance. Trey running out, trying to make sure he doesn't die too quickly. Fuya taking out Reckless Morty, and so you see him still being held into spawn here. And we do see that Jayhawk Esports is doing a fine job of keeping UCM into spawn here. And again, I do not appreciate the whole spawn hold thing. I don't care who does it. And so this is just kind of rude. I know UCM's going to do it on their defense round, but that doesn't mean it's okay. Hammer coming out from the side of B-Day Ninja. Does take out Jonah. Red Polka falls as well. Fuya taking out Trey. And so UCM will be put back into spawn here. So, yeah, UCM getting back in there. And Fuya being kind of the DPS carry that Jayhawks need at this point in time.
They really do. It's hard to break a choke when you have a good DPS hit scan just forcing you out, because now we're going to try a pharmacy, but against a good DPS like Fuya, I don't know if it's going to work very well.
I don't think so, and we do have a Deadeye coming out on the side of Fuya to continue to zone out the pharmacy there. And so UCM going to just try and hold off into spawn to wait until Trey is able to get up into the sky there and kind of spam down whoever he can. DD Gaming doing his best to try and keep Trey alive. Trey losing so much health. You see Fuya at 14, and they take each other out there. And so UCM is going to lose too many players once more and be put back into spawn. And so they've tried all your cheese so far, Cody, and nothing's worked.
Yeah, I don't know what they need to do to break. This is honestly a very hard thing to break. They just need to get a really good nade if they still had Anana, but I don't know what they would do now.
Hammer coming out on the side of Jonah, and a beat coming out on the side of the Jayhawk Esports. And so UCM, again, just being decimated here at the spawn hold here. They're getting down into a couple more team fights, and then they're screwed. So UCM needs to figure out something to break this. So it looks like Brickless Morty, once he's able to get his dragons up, that looks like the win condition here would either be a Grav Dragon or a Grav Barrage.
I think that would be the win condition. I think a Grav by itself could be a win condition. It's just a little harder to make work. So it comes down to positioning, I think. If they play split enough, a Grav won't do anything.
Very much so. Hoppin's Immortality Field does not die. No, that is the Red Polka, so no Immortality Field there. Fuya, super low on health, makes it through. We do see Trey on, super low health. Grav coming out only gets the B-Day Ninja, so UCM isn't able to really capitalize on it. A little bit late on the Dragons there on the side of Reckless Morty, but does a lot. Barrage coming out, but that doesn't matter, so UCM continues to get a lot of damage done and out there. And so it looks like they might be able to break the choke here, and they will begin to push the payload. So, yeah, it's going to be put into overtime before they can get to the first point here. We do see a lot of swapping happening on the side of the Jayhawks here. We see a Mercy coming out. We see an Ash. Looks like we're going to try and do a Sig 9 here as well on Jayhawk Esports.
I think it's more of the double barrier composition. They're going to be kind of pocketing the Ash so that she can easily pick off Farah and a Mercy, and then just force the rest of our team to kind of play down two, which is something you never want to do anywhere.
Very true. We do see a Blizzard coming out on the side of the Jayhawks here, so UCM in a bit of a tussle there. DD does fall in that motion. The Eclipse does fall to Jonah, and he's going to continue doing a rampage. We do see a Hammer coming out, though, and he's going to continue. Pin gets B-Day Ninja down and out. Jonah continuing to just keep swinging that hammer. We do see Ben going into an ice block there to continue to contest the payload there in the background. He hops up on the wall to, again, continue the contest that he has. Looks like he's going to be dropping down onto the payload, though, and he does get hammered down, but Immortality Field does come out. He hops back into it to make sure that he doesn't die. Does fall, though, to DD Gaming, and UCM will continue to try and push this point forward, and UCM just going to have lots of issues, it looks like, to continue pushing this. We are in overtime, so anybody touching off of that will have a lot of issues. BD Ninja going off onto the ball here to just continue to just jack up the backline here of UCM to keep them confused and not be able to do anything. Jonah with a fire strike onto the Eclipse with the Amplification Matrix. We do see DD Gaming getting super low, and so UCM, though, holding on to the point here, continuing to push it, and does cap it with overtime on it, but only got 2.5 minutes here to get to the second point, Cody.
Yeah, and I think that came down to Sig not being the pick here. Sig, well, good. He's been the victim of a lot of nerfs recently, to the point where, while his kit is incredibly varied and incredibly cool and good kit, it's just not as viable as a Reinhardt anymore.
Very much so. We do see that looks like the Jayhawks are going a book out of UCM here, going with an Orisa and a Rhine. And so UCM, though, throws out a Dragons. Not really much happening there. Fuya taking out the Red Polka, so that's one of the healers down on the side of UCM. Jonah going to be melted down there. And so it does look like the Jayhawks are finding their footing again and will begin to push forward and continue to just take out UCM. Nia is going to... just going to wreck face there, and so UCM will be stalled out in that team fight there, and the Jayhawks will stabilize, Cody.
Jayhawks will stabilize. That's the second point. It's a great point for a lot of things to happen. It's very close, a lot of cover, so for a defending team, there's a lot of setups and a lot of positioning you can take in order to quell an attack. So it comes down to the attack disadvantage here, having to force something, having to force someone to get out of position, having to force someone to waste a cooldown. And without that, you just can't win here.
Very much so. We do hear Bob coming out on the side of the Jayhawks here, and so UCM's going to have that in their backline to kind of deal with Trey getting super low on health. Going to get back here and get into a health pack zone here. We do see the rest of UCM just trying to contest the point. Bob is on the front, but does disappear at long last, done with his butler duties here. Fuya does take out the red polka, so takes out the entire support lineup for UCM. Fuya, though, is going to fall back here and does finish off Trey and then gets the mercy heals, and so UCM loses this team fight here. Does take care of Ben, but I mean Ben already has ult, so nothing much else going to do there. Deity is going to get trickled out and knocked out, and so UCM in last fight territory here, Cody.
Yeah, this is rough. This is rough to deal with when you have an Orisa Ryan like we were doing earlier. You have too many shields in the way for you to really burn anyone down when there's so much blocking you from doing it. You have 2 shields, you have a bubble, you have the potential for a Mei wall, and then you can't really dive the Ashe when she has a mercy pocket, and she has Coach Gun to just say, get off me.
Very true here. We do see Rickless Morty trying his best to try and melt down stuff. We hear Blizzard coming out on the side of the Jayhawk. Tyre coming out from Rickless Morty. We're going to see if he can be able to secure anything, but we do see 3 falling on the side of UCM. We do see Tyre coming out, but all it gets is the bongos there on the from the Eclipse, and so UCM isn't going to really get much else out of there. Overtime will tick down, and UCM won't be able to get onto the point there to contest it, and that'll be it. That is as far as UCM will be able to push the payload here. And Cody, the win condition here for the Jayhawks is they just got to push all the way there. Win condition for UCM, they got to stop it, right?
Yep, and that means spawn hold.
Okay. We get it. You people in your spawn holds. And
it works. It's viable.
Okay, yeah, I saw the Jayhawks do it. Doesn't mean I support it. I'm going to watch UCM do it. Doesn't mean I support it. I like people being at least able to come out of spawn because I don't think our viewers have seen past point 2.
Not this stream, at least.
Not any stream.
Not any streams? Yeah, you're right. I don't remember
we
ever
haven't
getting
gotten
the 3rd point.
past the freaking distillery, so nobody knows about the beaches. Nobody knows about the helicopter pad. Nobody knows about the cool little bridge.
Yeah,
nobody knows.
Yeah, but it's a sniper spot. I mean, I don't like 3rd point because then I'm just, as a Reinhardt main, I just don't get to play the game because I just get to stand there and hold right click and hope my team does something and wait for someone to mess up and get close enough to me.
I guess, but
don't like 3rd point.
Okay, I get that, but if we're able to push the 3rd point, that means we have better win conditions. But that's just me. So UCM will be setting up here with their classical spawn hold here. So we'll see how the Jayhawks will respond to it. It does look like Fuya's going to go onto the McCree here to probably do a lot of stun damage, mainly just to stun people and to prevent them from holding as much as they can. So we do see UCM going to hold off here. Red Polka coming in really late into the team fight here. We do see a wall off onto Jonah here from the Jayhawks. UCM going to keep pushing them in, and then Jayhawks will go on to the backside of the point here, and UCM will just have to continue pushing forward here, it looks like. And so Jonah leading the charge. Basically, wall goes up on the side of Rickless Morty and not really going to stop anybody from going back into spawn. Wall coming up on the side of Ben, and UCM going to just have to pull back here. DD Gaming getting super low, but we do see Jonah also losing so much health. Red Polka can do a lot of work here to keep Jonah up and alive. Barriers down. Amplification makers out from the Jayhawks here. Hammer coming out, though, so that's nice and big from Jonah. DD and Jonah wiping the floor of some birdie guts, in UCM will look like to continue to do this nice little spawn. Hopefully it does take out Rickless Morty, though, so there will be no wall for quite some time. So UCM has a very tall order to keep everybody into spawn or to continue to contest this point here, Cody.
They do. This is going to be a rough hold now that you don't have a mate. That's a long time that you have to be able to hold down 1. And I think the grab is going to come in and be the big fight win. Yep,
we do see it. Hammer coming down on the side of B-Day, though, but nothing really gets tagged there. UCM going to continue to melt them down. We do see Jonah taking lots of damage, but does get the immortality field out. Hoppin does fall. B-Day takes out DD Gaming. DD Gaming almost to that beat, so that's going to be an issue there. UCM continue to try and contest the hold as long as they can. DD does get stunned there by Fuya, and Fuya's going to continue. Oh, no, never mind. I don't know where that stun came from. I guess Fuya died in the middle of that fight. So UCM not able to hold back the Jayhawks for as long as the Jayhawks held back UCM. But, UCM in a deficit at this point in time, Cody.
Definitely a time deficit, and I think the only thing that I can consider our advantage here is not swapping to a SIG, being able to stick with the same composition, keep the same ultimates that we already have built up, and not do a weird comp switch in the middle of it. in the middle of trying to stop a push.
This is fair. So UCM will be coming up off of the top here. We do see Trey with his Death Blossom. We know how good he can usually be with those. We're going to see how well his placement and his timing will be today with all that. We just see here Blizzard coming out from the side of Rickless Morty. Trey looking to see if he can find a place to go up and hide. He mistimes it. He goes into a Death Blossom form but fails on it. Fuya able to cancel that out, and UCM does get shattered down. Amplification makes sure pulled out from the red polka as well. And so UCM wasted some ults there because I don't think anybody died on the side of the Jayhawks.
No, Jayhawks went down, and I think that came down to Trey missing a teleport. He tried to get on top of an awning or a balcony that's across the point, that's across the objective, but he just ended up going on top of the little blue telephone box that's there, which he obviously didn't want to do.
Very much so. Again, UCM in another contention where they have to hold a very short distance for a very long amount of time, and that just doesn't work out so well for UCM in this instance. And nobody's really there to contest it, Cody.
Nope, and now they're already down one coming into this next fight, so I don't know how well they're going to be able to hold this off.
I don't think they're going to be able to hold it off at all because Fuya over here is just popping off like crazy and able to get some hits here. GD Gaming almost doesn't get his ultimate off, and nobody's able to touch on the side of UCM. And so that makes it to where the Jayhawks will lead the series 2-1, making it match point in the favor of the Jayhawks here. And so what went wrong for UCM there, Cody?
Not spawn holding enough.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
they did have a weaker spawn hold here, and I think that came down to some missed walls from Sean. He's been really good about them recently. I think he just kind of had a bit of an offset here with, he missed the wall to keep them out of spawn. He missed the wall to cut everybody off from each other at the first engage, and then the second engage when he tried to get him out of spawn again, he just kind of missed it. And you saw that their walls were a lot better on ours when they were holding our spawn, and both when they were breaking out of their spawn.
This is true. So UCM is in a deficit at this point in time, but that doesn't mean they're out of the series. It is match point for the Jayhawks. And so basically UCM has to win the next map here, which will be their map pick. So hopefully they know which map they want to go to. And so we'll find out right after this short break.
Culver's is a proud sponsor of UCM Esports. Welcome to Delicious.
College, you don't want a piece of paper. You want an opportunity. The opportunity to lead, to innovate, to transform. The opportunity to excel beyond what you thought possible. At the University of Central Missouri, your goals are achievable because we give you more support so your ambition faces fewer obstacles. Embrace your potential with the backing of 150 years of academic excellence, with undergraduate and graduate degrees available in Warrensburg, Lee Summit, and online. Discover UCM. Discover opportunity in action.
Are you ready for the interview today?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get right to it. What's the first thing you would buy with $1 million?
Well, I would probably try to keep some of the money for later, but I would probably buy a house.
What would be your superpower?
I would have the power to be invisible.
What would the title of your book be?
The Story of Marcus.
What would your last meal consist of?
I'd probably just have pizza as my last meal.
If you could cyber enhance one body part, what would it be?
My arm.
First game ever played?
Trying to remember now. It was a long time ago, but I think one of the first games I played was Mario.
What's your favorite car jam to listen to?
It depends, but I really like Weird Al, so I would have to say Elmish Paradise by Weird Al Yankovic.
You're a new addition to the Crayon Box. What color would you be?
I would say probably Crazy Plum.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are here on Busan. And so, yeah, this is going to be a bit of a toughie here for UCM, I think. So this is match point, and even though the graphic doesn't say it yet, it is indeed a win condition here for the Jayhawks just to take Busan. So if UCM cannot contest the point here, this is going to be bad. Wouldn't you say, Cody?
Definitely. Starting out on Mecha Base, though, I think is good for us. You see they put Marcus in over Trey, and I think Marcus is going to come out here on Doomfist and really start to tear things up a little bit. His Doomfist has greatly improved. We used to ban him from Doomfist because we didn't want him playing it because it was really bad for a little while there. He's definitely gotten quite a bit better.
Just a little bit?
Just a little bit. And so it really comes down to a contention between their Mei and our Doomfist, who's able to find value, and also our Doomfist not getting stunned and burned down with a McCree in their backline.
This is so true. UCM, in order to stay within the series, has to win Busan out. So this is just like the first map we played. If they have to get 2 on this map section. So UCM is going to be in a bit of a contention here as Bite Me will go onto a loop here to see if he can get a good punch, and he does get a nice little solid hit onto the Jayhawks here, but UCM going to keep swinging, but nothing else happening. We do see Immortality Field up and burnt down from the Red Polka, and so UCM going to have a little bit of an issue. Stun does come out, and we do see B-Day Ninja going down on this from Jonah, so UCM has an advantage here. Can they hold on to it? Jonah just keeps swinging, has no shield up, and it doesn't give a care in the world, but we do see the point is unlocked, and somebody's on there capping it, and so UCM able to contest the point and win it out there, Cody.
And yeah, I think that did, like I said earlier, it came down to our Doomfist being able to kind of disrupt their backline and cause some problems and some, mistakes to be made. And I think Marcus is doing a good job.
Very much so. So UCM going to be holding on to the stairwell section here, it looks like. And we do see a wall coming up from Reckless Morty. UCM continuing to just kind of get up there and pump it out. Shatter coming out as well from Jonah. And so UCM going to keep contesting the point as best as they can. Bite Me missing a punch there, trying to get the Lucio down and out. He's going to keep going through, and then UCM will be able to just hold this little stairwell here. And looking pretty good so far for UCM, Cody.
It is, and my only worry here is that we invested 2 ultimates in that fight, and they haven't invested any as of yet.
This is true. Lots of dry pushes on the side of Jayhawks here, so that might be an advantage for him. UCM, but wall coming out, though. Oh, Bite Me falls so to a boop, and so Jonah does get burnt down a lot there. Oh, Deadeye coming out from Fuya again. Fuya just popping off with his DPS style, and that's what the Jayhawks needed in order to push through and capture the point here. UCM only able to get to 51, but that's a 51 they didn't have before. So if they can win the next team fight, it'll help them out in the long run.
It will, and looking at this, we might have a Space Jam coming up, which is, if you don't know, it's Grav and Doomfist ult to just kind of slam into the middle of it if you get a big Grav. So it's definitely another fight winner.
We just see Grab coming out on the side of Deity. Does get a couple people there. We just see a beat, though, coming out as well. Bite Me getting melted down. And the rest of UCM will be falling to Bin's Blizzard there. And, yeah, so apparently a Grav and a Meteor Strike can be countered by a Blizzard and a beat.
Well, I don't think Thomas found quite the Grav he was looking for. You saw it hit a Mei wall right there. I think he was trying to arc it into the middle of their team, and the Mei wall just said, nope, it's going to happen right here because this is where I said it's going to happen.
This is where it goes now. And so UCM going to be popping in there. We do see a big shatter coming out from the side of Jonah, and UCM going to be beginning to push in. We do see Reckless Morty with a Blizzard. Bite Me trying to get in there and get a lot of punches. Deity, though, doing lots more work with his Zarya play here, able to melt down people. Bite Me punching people up, getting them up there for Deity, just kind of melt down as they fall down to the ground here. Bite Me, again, looks like the Doomfist pick here is helping a little bit here in some of the team fights, being able to juggle people around. UCM is just taking a little bit longer to get to the points here, and so that might hurt him in the long run, it feels like, Cody.
It definitely feels like having the McCree stun and having that spam is creating a big disparity between how we have to play the game.
Very much so. BD Ninja misses the Fire Strike going through the Amplification Matrix. We do see them trying to march forward onto the point here. Jonah does get walled off. Hammer coming out as well. Does get the support of Red Polka down. Fuya again popping off due to his team causing so much disruption and chaos in the back line. And so UCM, though, staying on the point, trying to contest it for as long as they can. And UCM only able to get up to 85, so they have to hurry it up if they want to continue to contest this. We do have Space Jam coming up once more on the side of UCM here. And so let's see and hope that Deity will be able to hit something without a Maywall disrupting things.
That would be incredible if he can just get a nice clean grab, at least 4 in it, I'd like, but we'll see. There's Maywall.
Maywall coming out, but no grab coming out from Deity, so he's waiting. He throws it out, gets a lot of people into it. We do see Immortality Field up, though, so that's going to be a bit of a contention. We do see Blizzard coming out, though, from Ben. Ben able to continue and walk forward and just wreck the rest of UCM. Once more, the Blizzard is what contests everything that UCM's throwing out there, and so UCM won't be able to get a touch on here, looks like. It does look like DD Gaming, though, sacrificing himself to hold on to the point here. We do see B-Day throwing down a slam there, and that's going to be it. UCM will not be able to get back onto the point there, and that will be 1 of 3 going towards the Jayhawks. One more win on this map, and the Jayhawks will take the series. UCM can get one. They'll tie it up, and once more be in contention for winning the series. So what are UCM missing here?
They're getting split a little bit, I think.
Okay.
But I mean, they can't play together when May has her ult either. So it's this really, this big conundrum of, when do we play together? When do we split off? When do we play separate? And without a May now, that changes because now they don't have any walls. But this isn't a good map for walls. So I think the Hanzo is definitely the better pick.
Very much so. So we'll see Bite Me going on to the Hanzo instead because, as you said before, he's not that much onto the McCree. So you do have to wonder if they should have kept Trey in. But then again, we do know that Bite Me is a very good projectile player. So Fuya, though, taking out Reckless Morty there at the very beginning. And so you see him already down a DPS player. And so we do see Jonah there getting melted down once more. And so both Immortality Fields are down. Jonah getting melted by Fuya. Fuya just going on the warpath here against UCM, getting some very nice headshots. And so UCM going to have to push back. Point is going to be kept. But Bite Me taking revenge there and able to take out his counterpart in Fuya, but we do see that the Jayhawks are able to cap the point there. Deity pushing far forward here, trying to get his charge up, it looks like. Jonah back into the fray here. Bite Me pumping down the Storm Arrows to try and see if he can just contest the area. Deity Gaming speeding everybody in. UCM Amplification Makers coming out on the side of the Jayhawks here. UCM is going to have to back out really quickly here because everybody's on low health. Fuya taking out DD Gaming. Jonah again being melted here. Eclipse falling down. Ben on the McCree this time, and so we'll show his prowess on the hit scan lifestyle. But UCM just going to have to back out there. Red Polka does get melted down by Fuya, so UCM once more just denied access to the point here, Cody.
They were, and I think that's the Arissa's fault mostly because you see the lane they're approaching from. Very long sight line, very, very easy to just take so much damage as you're trying to approach. So the Orisa, much like our pick on Li Zhang, I think is creating a big disparity between how the two teams have to play and how they have to function.
Very much so. We do see Bongos coming out. Shatter blocked by Jonah. UCM trying to get around the corner here, but B-Day does finish that off there. So UCM, tank line is down for UCM. I don't know where the rest of UCM was during that team fight. Looks like they were trying to get behind their tanks, but misplacement, mistimings, something looked like went down here. But we do have Grav Dragons up on the side of UCM here, and that's going to be their win condition to even get a beginning on the point here, Cody.
They just need to get a flip. They need to get something. They need to get progress on that point. They're 75-0, and
then Fuya throwing a tree down the lane there does find the red polka. And so UCM losing the majority of their sustain there. Grav does come out, but Dragons come out on both ends here. Beats coming out as well, or a beat coming out from Nia there. DD Gaming falls before he can get his beat. Reckless Morty going behind, almost gets it, but hopping, finishing off Reckless Morty. Fuya here getting very much protected by the rest of his team here. He's liking this pocket of everything. Red Polka ignoring Fuya there. By me does take out BD Gaming. And so UCM not able to cap the point there. That will be the series here. UCM will not win it out, and that will be it here for UCM on Busan here. And that's just something that you hate to see, Cody.
Yeah, that was bad. That's something you never want to see. Is such a shutout like that. That's just bad. I'm almost at a loss for words here because that's something we've hardly ever had happen. Usually, like you saw on Li Zhang, both teams got a flip, and you saw on Kings Row, the curse of it, we did lose, but it was very close. It was very drawable.
It was. I think it was the first loss on King Row we've had at all this season.
Yeah, I think it was.
I think so because the
we
rest of
won
them have
and
been
then we
draws.
drawed. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a sucky kind of end of the night here for UCM, but we do have to talk about the rest of it in a bit more detail here in the Taylor Industries post show after this short break.
Taylor Industries is a proud sponsor of UCM Esports, a family-owned and operated business.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Taylor Industries post-game show. So that was, it looked strong in the beginning, Cody, and then it just went downhill for UCM, but then went, uphill for the Jayhawks there. So can you kind of break us down to what all went wrong for UCM through the series there?
We started out very strong on Li Jiang with some incredible holds on both points. There's some problems we had on one of them, but I'd like to think we did a really good job. The Curse of Kings Row came back, and it was a very drawable. It was a very drawable match, but we did end up losing it. And I think Havana was just a difference in speed and being able to tempo and really keep pace moving and keep the fight as you wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And ending out there on Busan was weird.
Painful.
They had a full hold
painful.
on that last map section of Busan, which really hurt because that you don't typically see, and it kind of hurt. It did hurt to see.
Broke the soul.
But we did have some good plays from everybody, I like to think. And while we did lose, I like to think there were some moments where some players did win. We saw some great shatters. We saw some great grabs, some great, some great boops that I know I'm probably going to hear from Dylan later about. He's going to talk to me about those because he seems to like to advertise, hey,
I can boop things into a hole, which, speaking of which, the boop master himself did win the Culver's Player of the Match tonight. Dylan DD Gaming TY. As you said, Cody, lots of good environmentals there, but I think there's a few other things he did well tonight.
He had an incredible reaction with almost all of his beats. Every time he dropped the beat, there was a reason for it, and it saved at least one life every single time. And I think when you're dropping a beat like that, that is the most important part, is being able to save at least one person with it, because that one person can oftentimes turn a fight in your favor.
Very true there. So Dylan does rightfully earn that award there for tonight. So, UCM did put up a good fight, I think, against Jayhawks, at least in the very beginning, and then they continued to do it. It just seemed like a lot of outplayment on the side of UCM there. So going back to the drawing board maybe, possibly, or just reevaluating some stuff. There were some comps that worked, it looked like, against such a high-level team, I do believe, and so that's probably something to keep into the books. I don't think there's some pros and cons in this match, don't you think?
Definitely. I think as far as how we performed very well. And I think it came down to just how their DPS were able to perform. Like, you saw Fuwo doing incredible. Ben was doing great jobs on Mei. I like to think that Mei play really changed a lot of things on, especially Havana, with incredible walls from him. And then at that last Busan map rotation, you saw the Hanzo and Okri coming out, and I think them able to hold that line together and just spam down and force us to move differently really is what contributed mostly to the full hold on it.
Completely. So UCM will drop this series and take an L onto the record in the GBC Cup series. But, if you want to be a part of UCM Esports and help out the team and maybe face against such high-level opponents yourselves, you can join us next fall. So the application for fall 2021 is up and live, so you can join us here at Overwatch, or you have Rocket League, League of Legends, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Rainbow Six Siege, and NBA 2K21. And so, deadline for being considered for starting lineup is April 30th of 2021. I know you people are going to try and get me on a year here. So that is your deadline by midnight on that day. And so if you submit it, that gets your chances higher for being considered for the starting roster slot. So some things to consider is that you have to have at least a 3.0 GPA. You have to be enrolled as a full-time student in order to be able to play on the team here. So just keep that in mind as well. Those are just little things that we have, as we are an academic team here and there. Also, if you don't like any of these 6 titles, there's another option on the application. So if you want to, you can select a different title completely and go with that for sure. Like, if you wanted to have like a Valorant team, which we have a couple people asking for a Valorant team to be started up again, and so if we get enough people, we get enough interest, we have enough eligible players and whatnot, we can find tournaments for that, then we will definitely bring a Valorant team on campus. Or if you can tell me you can definitely play Fortnite, I guess we could bring that on. So yes. I know there's lots of tournaments for those. I've also heard rumor of maybe a Melee squad. I know.
I wouldn't be opposed. I like watching some Melee every now
I
and
do
then.
too. So I'm intrigued by that. If we get enough applicants, maybe we can consider creating such a squad if there's able to be tournaments out there that we can compete in. Anything's open as long as it's within, appropriate standards for, collegiate viewing of all families.
Yeah.
Okay.
It has to be mostly family-friendly video game.
Yeah, keep that in mind. No Binding of Isaac or any other weird games.
Nothing strange.
Yeah, Marcus, we can't play any of your games, just so you know. So, anyways, with that being said, this has been the UCM Esports broadcast of Overwatch. I've been Cordell Ballard. This has been my co-host here, Cody Polly, and we will see you all next time.